What could possibly bring BTS's radiant sunshine, Park Jimin, to tears in a place meant to build strength? Why did Jungkook and Taehyung, known for their resilience and loyalty, crumble emotionally after hearing what happened to their beloved brother? The military is supposed to toughen the body, but did it silently break a spirit too golden to dim? What's really happening behind the closed gates of the military camp that houses one of the world's brightest stars? It started with whispers, fragments of information that didn't quite add up. A fan on Weverse shared a cryptic post. "I heard something happened to Jimin. Has anyone else noticed the sudden silence from him?" At first, many brushed it off as baseless worry. After all, Jimin had entered military service with a quiet strength, smiling confidently at cameras during his enlistment, promising to stay strong and safe. But behind that soft smile was their pain he never spoke of. In a heartbreaking turn of events that shocked the global army, Park Jimin, the angelic voice and empathetic soul of BTS, reportedly broke down in uncontrollable tears during a private moment in the military barracks. His emotional collapse didn't go unnoticed. According to anonymous sources within the military unit, the atmosphere changed dramatically after that night. And when Jungkook and Taehyung heard the full story, they couldn't hold it together either. The unraveling of a secret. What happened to Jimin? Details are emerging slowly, but what we know is haunting. Jimin, known for his immense emotional depth and vulnerability, had been silently struggling with a series of health-related challenges within the military camp. Challenges that were not made public until recently. Several insiders, whose identities we are keeping protected for their safety, revealed that Jimin had been experiencing significant fatigue, weight loss, and emotional distress for weeks before the breakdown. "He never wanted to worry anyone," one source said. "He kept smiling, helping others, encouraging younger soldiers. But he was in pain. He was exhausted. He wasn't sleeping well. And then one night, everything just burst out of him." Can you imagine Jimin, gentle, strong, compassionate Jimin, crying alone in a cold bunk, surrounded by metal walls and strangers who barely knew the depths of his heart? It's an image too heartbreaking to fully process. But it was when fellow BTS members Jungkook and Taehyung, who are also currently fulfilling their military duties, heard what had been happening in Jimin's unit that the story took an even more emotional turn. Jungkook and Taehyung break down. The bonds that can't be broken. Jungkook, the youngest of the group, often called the Golden Magne for his endless talents, was reportedly inconsolable upon learning about Jimin's condition. Witnesses say he cried openly, not out of weakness, but from a storm of heartbreak, guilt, and helplessness. He kept saying, "Why didn't I know? Why didn't he tell us?" Another soldier reported. He blamed himself. He felt he had failed to protect Jimin. Taehyung, or V, who is known for his stoic exterior and deep emotional intelligence, reportedly walked out of the room in silence upon hearing the full story, only to be found later sitting alone under a tree on base. His head bowed, his body shaking with silent sobs. One soldier said, "You don't see that kind of raw emotion often. These men, they've been through everything together. Awards, tours, stress, injuries, but this hit different. This wasn't just military stress. This was their brother suffering in silence." The tragic irony of silence. Why Jimin never spoke up. It's no secret that Jimin has always carried the emotional weight of the group in quiet ways. He's the one who hugs members when they cry, who writes handwritten letters to fans, who checks on others even when he himself is struggling. But in a world where military life demands emotional detachment and resilience, was there room for someone like Jimin to say, "I'm not okay"? And so he stayed silent. Not because he didn't trust his brothers, but because he didn't want to burden them. But was it worth it? Was hiding the pain a noble act? Or did it cost him more than anyone could have imagined? Fans are now questioning whether the systems in place for monitoring the health and well-being of high-profile enlistees are truly effective. If even Jimin, with all the eyes of the world on him, could be struggling like this without intervention, what about everyone else? One fan tweeted, her post going viral within hours. Fans react with a storm of love and outrage. The emotional storm sweeping through the BTS fandom has been unprecedented. Hashtags like #ProtectJimin, #WeLoveYouJimin, and #JiminStayStrong trended globally within minutes of the reports leaking. Armies have mobilized with love, flooding social media with messages of support, art, fan videos, and letters. Many are also calling for more transparency from military authorities regarding the health and treatment of enlistees, especially those in the public eye who face additional pressures. Some fans are even organizing peaceful petitions demanding a mental health initiative to be implemented across military bases to prevent similar incidents from happening again, not just for idols but for everyone who serves. The power of brotherhood. What comes next? Since the emotional collapse, it's been reported that Jimin has been given access to extended mental health support within the camp. Jungkook and Taehyung, despite being stationed in separate divisions, have reportedly requested and received special permission for periodic contact to ensure Jimin is doing better. They're not letting him feel alone again, a source close to the military said. Even Suga, RM and Jin, though currently completing service in different formats, have reached out through permitted channels. This is not just a group. This is a family. And when one of them hurts, they all feel it. Jimin, in a short but emotional message released through his agency, expressed his gratitude. "I am okay now and I will become stronger. Thank you for always loving me even when I am not at my best. Your love is my light." But behind those words, fans could still feel the tremble of a voice not yet fully healed. Could this change the way idols experience military service? With BTS members going through enlistment, many hoped it would spark reforms in how idols, often subject to intense emotional and physical demands, are treated during service. This incident with Jimin may be the very catalyst needed for that change. How do you protect the heart of a man who is expected to be both warrior and artist? How do you ensure that someone who has spent their life spreading light isn't left in darkness when they need help the most? And most importantly, how do you tell someone like Jimin that it's okay not to be okay? The quiet courage of healing. As Jimin begins the slow process of healing, mentally, physically, and emotionally, his story is becoming more than just a tragic episode. It's becoming a mirror for so many others who feel they must carry pain in silence. His tears have moved a global fandom to speak louder, to love harder, and to hold one another closer. To Jungkook's heartbreak, Taehyung's silent sobs, and the ARMY's storm of support are not signs of weakness. They are signs of love, of unity, of a bond deeper than fame, stronger than distance. Jimin may have broken down in tears, but from those tears is rising something powerful: truth, healing, and a new conversation about the hidden battles so many fight in silence. And that conversation is only just beginning. For most soldiers, military service is a drastic lifestyle shift, a transition from personal freedom to rigid structure. But for global superstars like BTS, the change is far more jarring. Overnight, Jimin went from dazzling stages and screaming fans to early morning drills, plain uniforms, and a level of anonymity enforced by military culture. He went from being adored and supported to having to prove his strength among strangers who may or may not fully understand who he is or the weight he carries. Military service for idols isn't just a patriotic duty, it's a test of identity. You're expected to perform like everyone else while hiding the parts of yourself that made you exceptional in the first place. For someone like Jimin, who has always expressed himself through movement, music, and emotion, that kind of suppression can become suffocating. An expert in military mental health, speaking under condition of anonymity, explained it this way: "You have to understand these are people who live in connection to fans, to bandmates, to a mission larger than themselves. Strip that away too quickly, and you risk fracturing their sense of purpose. They may follow orders, but inside, something can quietly unravel. That unraveling may have started weeks before anyone noticed." While public letters and agency updates reassured fans that all was well, behind the curtain, Jimin's signature light was beginning to dim. Exhaustion, isolation, anxiety, the perfect storm.